Broussard, did Cooper Rush do enough to spark a quarterback controversy?
Well, let me say this loud and clear. There is a quarterback controversy in Dallas.
Go up.
Full blown.
Full blown.
Right? The pressure on Dak Prescott has been ratcheted up to here, but not because of Cooper Rush.
Oh, twist.
It's because of that defense. That is a Super Bowl caliber defense. So you know what that means? It means if Dak Prescott, when he gets back, and I wouldn't bring him back against Philly, I'd bring him back against Detroit, right? They play Detroit next. Get him a couple wins. Detroit, Chicago, I think. Get him a couple wins when he comes right back. But when Dak Prescott comes back, Wildes, if he is the guy that they've been saying he is, right? Preseason, he's a top 10 quarterback in all the surveys. He's making $40 million a year. If he's that guy, then the Dallas Cowboys should get at least to the NFC title game for the first time in 27 years, at least that far. Because the defense, Nick, as I said, arguably the best in the league, right? Micah Parsons is Lawrence Taylor. Okay, I'm ready to go there. Okay, I'm ready to go there.
Let's call him Derek Thomas first, and then it was fine. Lawrence Taylor.
I like the Lawrence Taylor, but whatever the case, he's awesome.
Greatest defensive
he's
player
awesome,
ever.
right?
Okay,
he's awesome.
Sure.
The running game is thunder and lightning. I want to see Tony Pollard get the ball more. All right, he needs to get a couple of those plays where Zeke got kind of tripped up. Right, Pollard may have busted him for big runs like he did the 157-yarder. But the receivers are solid. If Dak is a top 10, 12-ish quarterback, everything is in place to get them to the NFC title game. And I say that I say title game because the only team, if they're clicking and Dak is that guy, the only team I see that would be equal or better than them in NFC
San Francisco
is Brady.
Oh.
Okay, because
lack of faith in Jimmy G.
You got Tom Brady.
Great defense, great running game.
Now, San Francisco is tough, but you got Tom Brady. You got a defense that's great, maybe not as good as Dallas's, and you got better weapons at the receiver.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't. We'll see. Receiver, we'll see. I mean, the Julio's already hurt again. They have Mike Evans.
As long as they have Godwin and Evans.
But Godwin, we also got to see how healthy he can stay coming off the major injury and then some other things. But let's stay on Dallas for a moment because I agree with the vast majority of what Chris Broussard just said. And I think we are now to a point where this season is going to be the defining stretch of Dak Prescott's career up to this point. Because it is very difficult to add any excuses to the equation for Dak now, for this season. You have arguably, and we can show the numbers for the defense. Let's do the defense numbers if we can get those pulled up. You have arguably the best defense in football. And this is where I underrated the Cowboys. I made two mistakes on evaluating the Cowboys. One was Cooper Rush I thought was going to be terrible, and he's been adequate. But can we show the defensive numbers? I thought they had a top 5 defense. They have arguably the very best defense in all of football. And so you have that. Tyron Smith at some point will be coming back. Like in December, and they have been able, Cooper Rush has been able to be adequate, not great at all, and yesterday wasn't even good, but has not been ruined by not having Cooper Rush, or not having Tyron Smith, pardon me. You mentioned the running game, and they've shown the ability to not botch or butcher end-of-game situations or end-of-half situations the way they did last year. So, listen, I think the media, by default, because Dak's not going to go undefeated, and Cooper Rush up to this point has gone undefeated, will, if the Cowboys stumble, make this about should you go back to Cooper Rush. That, to me, is a nonsense discussion. Cooper Rush is a limited player who's played in a limited capacity but played within himself well. The real question is, does Dak Prescott deserve to be in all the commercials? Does Dak Prescott deserve to be one of the celebrity quarterbacks in the league? Or has he just been gifted that by virtue of being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? We're going to find that out now because they have enough everywhere else. They have enough on the offensive line, even though it's not great. They have enough at the wide receiver position. They have more than enough at the running back spot, and they have, right now, at worst, a top 3 defense and maybe the league's best defense. So all that plus soft-ish schedule should lead to a legitimate contender if, like Bruce said, Dak is the guy that the media and the marketing campaigns have made him out to be.
So what if Dak doesn't have to be the guy? What if Dak can play at this level, but maybe the Cowboys are better off having Dak play right here? Because to me, the Cowboys are now at a space where they are a exceptional restaurant. Here's a little dining rule of thumb. The more stuff on the menu, probably the worse restaurant you're at. If it's serving breakfast all,
Shots at Cheesecake
I'm just saying.
I was just
if it's
that's
serving
exactly
breakfast
what
all
was
day,
on my mind.
oh, we've got this, we've got spaghetti, we've got quesadillas, we've got a beef Wellington. That's not where you want to be. You want to be at a nice restaurant that says, here's our menu. There's 4 things on it. Sure. Pick one of them. They're all excellent. And on the Cowboys menu, they have great defense. They've got a quarterback who does not turn the ball over, no interceptions, no fumbles. He's taking care of the ball. And they have a devastating running game. Our graphics are currently down, but don't worry. That's why I make tactile right here. Oh, look at that. Dusty printed it out for me. Cowboys record since 2016 when running on 45% of their plays. Don't make a screw face. It is an excellent graphic. 47 wins, Broussard. 4 losses.
Wow. What's the
rule of 45?
The relevance is that's when Dak got there, right?
Let them run the ball.
Okay,
run,
listen,
run,
this has
and
been a
win
smart,
some games.
fun conversation. I'm not going to let that happen.
Why? Because we have good graphics on the show?
What's the record when
Look
they
at
take
that.
knees in the second half?
Oh, stop it.
Probably even better. So why don't they start off every third quarter by taking a knee?
That is an unfair
because
argument.
one is a leading indicator and one is a lagging indicator. Teams run when they have the lead, so games that they're already controlling,
47 and 4?
they start running the ball almost exclusively in the fourth quarter. The point that you're making, that they are better when they are more well-balanced, I will buy into.
Yeah.
But here is the reason why, to me, Brew, this is the defining portion of Dak's career. Because, up to this point, because there are going to be games where the defense lets up. There are going to be games where they get unlucky on special teams. There are going to be games where, and they haven't up to this point, they play a dominant opposing quarterback who is on fire, and they need someone to be able to go blow for blow.
Right.
Dak does not have to do that every single week the way he would have had to last year when the defense wasn't what it was, or certainly in 2020 before he got hurt when the defense was in shambles under the previous D coordinator. But there are going to be a couple moments where Dak's got to lead a drive down. And so the fact that he doesn't have to do it every week should take some pressure off him. But now we get to find out. There are no, for the first time since, in my opinion, 2016, Dak's rookie year, he is in a truly great situation for a quarterback.
Yep.
Where you're not going to be playing from behind that often. You're not going to be in a situation where the other team's got more bullets in the gun than you. And now we get to see, because we know that against average-ish teams, this team is good enough to win with a guy off the street at quarterback. So against good teams with their star quarterback, can their star quarterback match him? So I agree with you on that front.
And Wildes, I agree with what you're saying essentially. All right, Dak Prescott has to take the mentality that Jerry Jones should have. Jerry Jones doesn't have this, and this is when he ruined the Cowboys. Jerry Jones needs to realize, if we win, even if I'm in the background, if I'm not doing interviews, I'm going to get the credit as the owner. But he wants the credit. He wants to be out front. He wants to win his way. Dak's got to have the mentality of, look, I don't have to throw for 300 yards. All right, I don't have to be the superstar. If we just win and win big, I'll get the credit even if I throw for 225 yards.
100%.
And I agree. Look, I've said since he got in the league, he's a game manager with playmaking ability with his legs and his arm. That's what you need. They should essentially do the same thing, ratchet it up a little, because Cooper's limited. So you said they're running a vanilla basic offense. They should ratchet it up a little, but when Dak gets back, but still make the focal point be the running backs. Don't try to. Remember last year, the beginning in the preseason, people were asking, is he going to throw for 6,000 yards? That's ludicrous. It's comical.
And last year they did, by the way, have the number one scoring offense in football, and it got them nothing. It got them the division title, but then they lose in the first round of the playoffs. What they should try to be is a rich man's version of what the Niners have been the last few years.
That's a good take.
A team that is dominant on defense, has its running game, is its first option on offense, and then a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, that's
a
a good
guy
point.
that can
That's a great
actually
point.
make plays when you need to make plays,
Right.
and you're not as terrified. And I'm trying to start a Jimmy G conversation, but as terrified of the critical mistake as Jimmy G has made. Now, Mike McCarthy is not Kyle Shanahan. I understand that, but also Mike McCarthy might say, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not Kyle Shanahan. I won the Super Bowl." I don't feel that way, but maybe that's Mike McCarthy's is standing on
Right,
it. So
right.
I think that the Cowboys, we have seen this model. The question was, when we were talking about it earlier, how good is the defense? But we have seen we have the best defense in the league. How far can that take us? And it's not just the 2000 Ravens and the 02 Bucks. Right. We saw it with Peyton Manning and the Broncos.
Yep.
We have seen multiple times a dominant defense be all you need as long as your quarterback doesn't kill you. Through 5 weeks, Wildes, the Cowboys have a case. We are the dominant defense in this league.
Yep.
We've allowed one rushing touchdown, and that's not even the thing we do best. Our pass defense is the thing we do best. And so with all of that, and you're inserting into a 4-1 team what is supposed to be one of the 8 best quarterbacks in football, you should look at it, if he actually is that, as a team, like you said, for the first time since '95, could make a conference championship.
All right, Broussard, we have 10 seconds before we're going to break. Eagles, Cowboys, who are you taking?
Cowboys are, this week?
Yep.
I'm going with the Cowboys.
Oh, I like
I'm riding
it. Ooh,
Cooper
an
Rush
early take.
Yes, I'm riding Cooper Rush.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.